People need guidance. It's a fact of life. From the moment we're born to the moment we die, in many ways, we find ourselves constantly following the examples set by others. And in no place is this more apparent than fiction in general. Characters like Patrick Bateman and Tyler Durden serve as the literally me fuel, pushing people to copy their mannerisms, their ideologies, and their philosophies, all to feel just a fraction of the confidence that they so effortlessly exude on the big screen. But there's one problem. Something many people come to realize on their own, and yet it still manages to elude most. We're not supposed to idolize these characters. Before they're saints, they're human. Deeply flawed, borderline insane, and extremely imperfect humans. And they're not meant to be an ideal for us. They're meant to be a warning. So why then do we look to them for the guidance we lack? Why lean on these imperfect characters to inspire us to, quote, better our lives? It's because deep down, every person wants a role model. A person or character that can serve as an example. Someone so vibrant, so charismatic that at times it can feel impossible not to at least somewhat want to emulate them. Whether it's because of their endless kindness, their unyielding confidence, or their lack of fear. They're perfect. Don't you agree? Because I don't. I believe that characters who are really interesting are interesting in spite of their imperfections, and not just because of the ideal they strive to portray. And in this video, we'll be going over some of my favorite role models in media, exploring their development as characters, and hopefully realizing what it is about these characters that can inspire an audience. How to build a role model. People are naturally going to be drawn towards characters that make the impossible feel possible. It's part of the reason most people consume stories in the first place. Escapism. We see these characters, their journeys, and we're inspired by their drive and perseverance, giving us some kind of emotional boost in our real lives. Kamina from Gurren Lagann is inspiring, and because of this, he's a role model. For those uninitiated few, Kamina is a major character in Gurren Lagann, a crazy, over-the-top mecha anime, and even if he's not the main focus of the series, he exhibits something that's very common among role model characters: charisma. For the first quarter or so of the series, you're given a lot of time to see Kamina's antics, and in particular, his outlook on the world and what he's fighting for. His fight for freedom is one that the audience can sympathize with, not being too far off from how many people see the world in real life. And it's this sympathy that turns a potentially loud and annoying distraction from the main conflict to a beacon of hope for the viewers, and most importantly, the character that represents us. Simone is the real character of Gurren Lagann, and after, spoiler alert, Kamina dies, he's left to pick up the pieces of the team he left behind. Only through feeling his absence is Simone forced to question himself, to draw from Kamina's example and surpass that example as a leader and a fighter. The first time I watched Gurren Lagann, this was interesting to me, because it touched on an aspect of writing role models that I'd never really considered before: the passing of the torch. The individual growth of the characters around them separate from the role model themselves. This growth typically supports the audience's emotions and makes them feel heard by the plot. But Kamina is just one example of many. One type of role model, one application. Kamina represents an ideal that we strive to reach, something that our real-life role models can struggle to be for us at times. So what about a character that's more human, whose internal imperfections serve to inspire us more rather than their perceived greatness? What about a role model with humanity? Monogatari is an insane anime, and honestly, taking inspiration from any character in that series should get you put on some kind of list. It's a series about imperfect people, about an imperfect teenage boy helping imperfect teenage girls, when they're teenagers at least. And with so much of the series hinging on Araragi's own perception of the people around him, it can feel like some stuff falls between the cracks. And no character in Monogatari reinforces this belief more than Tsubasa Hanekawa. Hanekawa is seen by Araragi as a role model, as the perfect person, though she's an interesting role model in the sense that there's a very inhuman air that seems to follow her wherever she goes. She's too perfect, too uncaring about morally dubious things, and her lack of regard for herself is often a source of confusion, even for Araragi. You know there's something she's holding back because she's human, but it's not until she gets an arc to herself that we as the audience are allowed to explore that more human side. The Neko Monogatari White Arc is Hanekawa's swan song, explaining the reason she is the way she is, and her unchecked desire to change that part of herself. The desire to be perfect is one that we all hold deep within. Hanekawa is merely a representation of what would happen to us if we dedicated our whole lives to reaching that example. Hell, if we succeeded in reaching that example. And the humanity that's expressed in her progressive breakdown over the course of the arc is what makes her so inspirational to me. Seeing her fail to be perfect, to be faced with her worst parts and be forced to embrace it, even if she knows there's a chance she can't make those around her proud. Hanekawa is a role model in her failure. She's an inspiration to those who understand her plight, and her acceptance at the hands of Araragi at the end of the arc is a confirmation to the audience that it's okay to not be the best. It's okay to cry, to get mad, to not know everything, and to only know what you know. Hanekawa as a role model teaches us to accept ourselves, because those in your life who don't embrace you for you simply don't embrace you. Though for many people, this isn't a problem. It's actually not that hard to be happy with yourself once you get the hang of it. It's other people that are the real challenge. So how can a role model teach you to love others? I kind of went on a tangent last section, so let me make up for that with this one. Vinland Saga is a series that did something I'm not sure I've seen any other popular anime do in recent memory. It passed its fanbase through a filter. Season 1 of Vinland Saga was a violent endeavor, with amazing fights, animation, and storytelling. It was particularly popular among the typical shonen audience, and the people who make TikTok edits of Thorfinn's fight with Thorkel. But Season 2 flipped the audience on its head, with many of the younger viewers moving on to what they consider to be more interesting series, and bashing the show for being boring now. Which is interesting, considering Vinland Saga lost none of the things I mentioned before, and in fact, they only got better. Well, kind of. There's one thing that Vinland Saga has lost. A fourth thing that I didn't bring up before. The anger that was so vehemently felt in Season 1. Thorfinn had grown as a person, and as a result, outgrown the audience that idolized him for his rage and violent tendencies. Kind of like what I was talking about in the beginning. Thorfinn teaches you to forgive, and to be the change you want to see in the world. Season 1 is all about showing how giving in to anger and fighting for the wrong reasons can hurt the people around you, how you can fail to cherish the people you care about before it's too late, and how easy it is to settle into a negative cycle, rotting away as a result. As a writer, understanding how your character's experiences can shape them as a person can be a crucial part in shaping your role models, as well as the characters surrounding them, testing their beliefs and ideologies against your own worlds, or otherwise making them face themselves, giving them the flexibility to look forward and improve their lives. The thing that makes role models so interesting is how they show the audience a piece of themselves, whether they represent the hope we want to feel, the charismatic ideal we want to reach, or simply the ability to wake up in the morning without feeling bad about yourself, without hating your life. Role models are strong first and foremost, and seeing that strength can allow us to want more for ourselves. People are strong, and role models are the key to awakening that strength. My name is John Sage, and thanks for watching. Hello, it is Editing Room John here, once again, back with the conclusion of another video. As always, I would like to thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, disliking, do whatever it is you guys do when you watch my videos. And I would like to talk a little bit about the process that went into making this video as usual. This video took a little bit of time, primarily because just mental health reasons and real life and all that type of stuff has been just existing. But I would like to say that I'm quite happy with the product that I put out. I am really thankful for the support you guys showed on the last video. It shows me that I'm moving in the right direction and that you guys are liking the shit that I'm putting out. And that means the world to me, in all honesty. I'm not going to keep too much of your time, as you guys probably have better things to do, and I am tired as hell because it's the middle of the night. But, as always, I'd like to thank you for watching. My name is John Sage, and have an amazing, lovely rest of your day. Peace out.